Welcome to Holding Down the Fort by U.S. VetWealth. I'm your host, Jen Amos, a Gold Star daughter, veteran spouse, and upcoming author. This season, we're helping seasoned spouses explore new opportunities and ideas outside the military so that they can make more confident choices for their next chapter. Why? Because you too are retiring, and now it's your turn. Let's get started. Welcome back, everyone. And if it is your first time here, pause and go back to the previous episode. This is part 2 of our conversation with the founder of the Pillar Foundation, Teresa Shick. This is part 2, so I recommend going back to part 1, episode 228 before listening to this one so that, it makes more sense and stuff. So before I get into what this part 2 conversation will be about, let me get into some quick announcements. First and foremost, thank you everyone who attended U.S. VetWealth's first post-military career strategy circle, aka our free networking event, yesterday, Wednesday, January 14th. Thank you. Thank you to the people we collaborated with, Chris and Larry, who have been on the show with Patriot Care. Thank you to Mike Wallace with Blue Water Advisors. And thank you to our company and my husband, U.S. VetWealth. So it was a great opportunity. We've been planning this for a couple of weeks now, actually months now, when I think about it. And it was our first one. And based on the feedback, we hope to host another one and hopefully more frequently. So stay tuned on that. We'll have information on that in upcoming newsletters. So thank you again. And an update on my book, The Military Spouse Benefit Plan. I have some chapters coming out soon. I know I've been saying that for a while now, but I mean it. I mean it. And so just be on the lookout. And the best way to be on the lookout for that is obviously to be subscribed to the show InsideTheFort.com. If you haven't subscribed and you're intrigued, then I also want to let you know that when you subscribe, not only do you get information on how to get a free copy of my upcoming book, the initial chapters, Military Spouse Benefit Plan, plus my husband's book that's already been published, but you get to get it for free along with my book. If you are subscribed on InsideTheFort.com, you will also get a bunch of subscriber freebies, such as information on how to get free podcasting membership from yours truly, a free discovery call from Kiani from episodes 225 and 226, and additional freebies from future guest collaborations. So I'm all about bringing on people that I intend to network with nowadays. And part of that is sharing freebies with you all in our newsletters. So that's what you get for subscribing. And last but not least, when you subscribe, there's also steps to upgrade your membership for free to become an insider, to get access to Inside the Fort private podcast, where, for example, you can listen to part 3 of Kiani's interview and a bunch of other things. So lots of free stuff. Feel free to subscribe and feel free to unsubscribe if you don't like it. Like, no big deal. I won't take it personally. But now that you know that there's a lot of free things that might sound useful, why not give it a try? Visit InsideTheFort.com and subscribe now. And if you are already subscribed, to check out the latest newsletter, scroll to the bottom where it says subscriber freebies, and you'll see all the goodies that we have for you. Okay, thank you for listening to my quick announcements. Let's now get into part 2 of our conversation with Teresa Shick, the founder of the Pillar Foundation, which specifically serves our Special Operation Forces spouses, also known as SOF for short, SOF, not T. And in the order of our conversation, these are some main points that we discuss. When Teresa realized that she could explore options outside of the 30-minute radius of her husband's duty station, what you can expect at Pillar Foundation retreats, including pre-retreat surveys to make sure that you have a tailored retreat experience. We also talk about Teresa and her family and their ever-evolving journey, even in post-military life. There's a phrase Teresa prefers to say, and instead of spouses saying it's my time in retirement, she talks about how she prefers to say it's our time as a family, and you'll hear more about that. Reactions when a spouse is asked, but what do you want? And who Teresa is outside of being a military spouse and the founder of the Pillar Foundation, and what she has proclaimed to her family once her husband retired. And we also talk about the number one thing divorced spouses say that they needed in hindsight. And last but not least, how Teresa is managing life at a relatively slower pace today as a civilian. Teresa, thank you again so much for being on the show. If you can relate to our conversation in any way, feel free to check out her website, sofpillarfoundation.org. That's SOF, as in Special Operation Forces, pillarfoundation.org. And also in the show notes, you'll have a direct link to learn about how you can donate to the Pillar Foundation. With that said, thanks for listening and enjoy part 2 of our conversation with Teresa Shick. I love hearing how you said that you guys just know that you have to set it and forget it. Finance is not a hobby for most people. It is, they're there for a reason. And that's just so great to hear the decision, the firm decision, the informed decision that you made with that. And then, of course, just recognizing that there are various ways to grow assets, if that's something you want to do. But to know that at the very least you have like something like the survivor benefit plan should anything happen. I mean, that's what it's there for,
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. And it got me to think about, you said earlier about like, it sounded to me that you didn't really realize till later that you had choice. Like you said in the military, it's like, hey, you have option A and option B, pick one. When did you start to realize that you had agency, like that you had more options than what were presented at the table?
Probably the year before he was retiring, and this was 2017. So 2016, I flew home to where I know we'd go to Tyler, Texas, and to look at schools. And there's private schools, there's public schools, there's charter schools, all kinds of schools, home schools, all the schools. And actually, 4 of my kids went to 4 different schools because we didn't have to stay. They're different kids and they have different combinations. And
I guess that makes sense. I think about my own siblings too.
Yeah. And the same city, but I was like, I don't have to, we had to live within a 30-minute radius from his base. Like we couldn't go more than 30 minutes while he was on call away. But we couldn't even go like to the Outer Banks because we're in Virginia Beach. So you know where I'm saying, like we couldn't even go to the Outer Banks. I couldn't have a baby in Portsmouth because he wasn't allowed to go through tunnels. So because the tunnel, like you never know.
The tunnels here are real. The traffic is real.
Tunnels and bridges, avoid.
Yeah.
That was a big, like, it was a logistic aha. Like, oh, we can live in any town we want and go to any school we want. And the kids can do what they want. And it was just cool to think that, like, we're always going to make Easter. I mean, it was really until we landed outside. Also, landing outside and realizing how lonely we were and how much we missed that stability. But it was almost like you let a kid go free down the street screaming, what? I like freedom. It's a little much at first, but then you're like reeling it. You don't have to. We took that first year. We were like super into our family. Veterans Day, they don't have off in Texas for whatever reason. But we're like, hell, the kids are not going to school on Veterans Day. We stay home on Veterans Day. Like every time he had a holiday, the kids would stay home, and the teachers are like, it's not a kid holiday. And I go, yeah, but Dad's home, and he's never home. And then I was going, actually, you're going to be home now. Like we can just be normal family. We like went internal for a year as a family, just like where we got to catch up. Like kids meet dad, dad come to the performance. All the dad he could, little Johnny walks now, whatever. They were older, but we definitely went internal as a family because we just didn't have it for so long. It's different. It took a few years for us to normalize. I feel like to feel like more civilian-ish, if we are at all.
Yeah. It's like you're out of the military, but the military is always going to be a part of you.
I'll always find the military spouse in town. Like, we're special ladies,
It's fun to gravitate toward people who share like a similar lifestyle that you had.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I tend to gravitate. Yeah. One of my really good friends here, her son is an NFL player. And we found each other because I always say, like, we have extraordinary men in our lives where we have to keep secrets. We can't be super open about them all the time. And we have an extraordinary man. And so that was our common thread. And that's how we became friends. Like, we have that similarity. It's just different.
Yeah. I love it. Well, I know I've been talking a lot about the past, and I know that was many, many years ago now. So let us fast forward to today. And how's life today? How's it going? How's it going, Teresa?
Oh, it's so great. It's good. I'm super busy. Pillar Foundation's, I know that's not, Teresa doesn't equal Pillar Foundation, but she kind of does.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. We do like 7 or 8 retreats a year. The retreat center around. So let's say Jen calls me and says, we're in Norfolk, but we're going to move to Ohio. And I'm like, cool, let's get you on a retreat near Ohio with like-minded women who walked in your shoes before you get out. And that way you have a soft place to land and you already have a community when you get there. Because that community piece is big for the guys and the girls. But the guys need that brotherhood still and camaraderie of the soldiers around them. So to already know where you're going and who your friends are is important. And then during those retreats, we'll just talk about all the resources that kind of we just talked about, finances, but also co-parenting. Jen, what's your strength? Let's put you on a strength finders test. Like, do you need a resume? Are you going to stay home or are you going to go back to work? Do you even know? Do you need a coach? Because you don't know what you're going to do right now. Maybe you're an empty nester, which often happens with retirement. So like 2 major transitions at one time. So whatever the wife kind of needs, the spouse needs personally or professionally. And we also offer scholarships. So if they wanted to go back to school, like as a non-traditional student, maybe you have Hazelwood or maybe you have GI, but you need a laptop because your laptop's broken. Or you need to transfer your nursing credentials from Norfolk to Ohio, or you want to open your own yoga studio. Let's get you a branding and marketing specialist. So it runs the gamut of what the spouse needs, but it's whatever she needs. We'll try to find the resource for her and then facilitate that again. So she's happy. And then when he comes home, she can kind of handle the whole thing.
Yeah.
You can't just both be flailing, right? So that's been my whole past 4 years, right? Everything I can into that and networking and going to conferences and learning and taking classes and taking a lot of calls from spouses and figuring out what the greater need is.
Yeah.
I have some hardy goals of legislation next year that we will have another talk about because still on the back burner, but of some major changes that need to happen around a divorce situation.
I love that you want to tackle that.
You want to tackle that. It's pretty unfair. I have a daughter getting married. I've got a lot going on over here. Got a lot of estrogen in our house. But it's all going great. It's just still, I don't think transition's ever over because, it's just we're evolving as adults. We're evolving as parents. There's the whole fun perimenopausal talk that everyone's doing right now. Or, the menopause talk is big. And then we have a 14-year-old, on the other side of the spectrum, my poor husband.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I got this, honey. I got this.
Yeah. You got this. Kids going to college. It's just a strange time. I feel too young to be this old. So we're navigating, being in our 50s. It's so weird because you don't feel it.
Do you feel like, the 50s is a new 40s?
I don't know. That's what they say. I mean, I'll tell you next year when I turn 50. I'm 49. I don't feel 49. And since we last spoke, my dad passed away. And then my mom, that's okay. I mean, thank you. But what happened? But it's been what the big things that's happening in my life now. I'm not 25. Of course, I get it. I'm not 25 going through menopause, but I can imagine emotionally happening what's happening to me and the state I'm in and not having a spouse that's home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's hard on the other side. It's hard on either side because life goes on. Kids get more expensive. They eat more. They drink more milk. They go to college. Then you got to go see them at college. You got to pay for their books. They have to drive home from college. There's parents' weekend, homecoming weekend. College is more expensive, even if it's paid for. It's just, it never stops. It's all good.
Yeah.
I just never stops. And then when you think it does, you'll have like a grandkid. So it's just ever evolving.
But wait, there's more. Let's talk about the Pillar Foundation real quick. I was looking at, so your website collects amazing testimonials of SOF spouses who've gone through it. And one of the, let me pull it up real quick. One of the testimonials I really like, which I think captures what you do, is from Alex, Air Force SOF spouse. And I love hearing how there are some particular lines that stood out to me. I just want to read them. So she said, it wasn't just about supporting him, AKA the husband, right? The service member, through the changes. But it was also about figuring out what her own, sorry, this is spoken in third person. Hold on. So basically she was saying that she realized it wasn't just about supporting her husband through the changes, but it was about figuring out her own next chapter and what it would look like. And the Pillar Foundation empowered Alex to look beyond the daily stress and start dreaming again. Alex realized that she didn't have to just react to the changes in her life. She could proactively choose the path she wanted to take. I love hearing that. And also, when you're describing a little bit about the retreats, it sounds like you really take time to tailor the resources and education toward a particular spouse. Am I hearing that right? Like you really take time to make sure that they get proper resources that they need, depending on the stage they're at with their kids, or if they're older kids, or just, maybe they have different career goals now, or they actually have career goals now. So tell me about that.
So each retreat will have a pre-retreat survey.
Okay.
And then I'll kind of know, like, great, 5 of these ladies are, I go back to the menopause thing because that's huge for us. 5 of these ladies are talking about menopause or hormonal change, or just that adjustment of, he's come home and also now I'm going through this insane life change. 4 of them are 2 years out. I've had a lady on a retreat who's 55 because her husband's an admiral, and a 32-year-old because they're getting out after 10 years. And so that's a totally different retreat, but they're on the same one. So the basics of each retreat is we do the main topics for them. And then around the 10 ladies resource sharing, one lady will say, the 55-year-old will say to the 32-year-old, when I was your age, it's natural for women to do that. But even before the retreat, I'll have an intake call. Like, I'm using you as an example. You call and you say, I wanted to start a podcast and it's been in my mind and I don't think I can do it. Why can't you do it? He goes, well, I don't know. I don't even know where to begin. I'm like, well, I know who knows. Like, this is the coach who can tell you, or this is the mentoring, the guru who does the marketing and advertising, or this is the schooling you need to go back to. But yeah, it is tailored, but we all need that empowerment talk as women. Yeah. Especially since everything we've had is centered around the service member. But to have those like 4 or 5 days of like, we are talking about him because we do, but we're talking about you, like you know, and at that point you've been married 20, 25 years. And so you're a fluid situation. But a lot of it is like, let's talk about Jen. Jen, what do you need? You've got this idea in your head of a podcast. Why can't you make it happen? What do I need to give you to make that happen while you can still support your family? That's really the goal per woman. So that's why it's also different and individualized. And Alex's story is great. Like, he came on a retreat, and when I saw her a year later and all the changes and all the things she did to help herself, she was a totally different person. I mean, she looked different. And I've seen that a couple times. And unfortunately, some of it does end in divorce, and I can't help that. But what I can do before the divorce is get them ready to be themselves and to, take care of their own situation, whatever that is. Give them the empowerment or the resources or the schooling, or the ability to carry on, because we all have that. We all have something we want to do. We all have our own power. We all have something we can do on our own, but sometimes you just don't have the time to do it, or you don't have to. Yeah. That it's not, I think, empowerment. I can't think of another word, but I so enjoy like showing the women, like, you can do this. Like, we're going to help you do it, whatever it is. It doesn't have to fit in the box. It could be completely different. You want to be an astronaut? Cool. Let's work towards that. That's never happened. Yeah. But, dream big, because now it's not your time. I always say it's our time as a family. Spouses will say it's my time on retirement. I don't love that because that still keeps a divide. It's your time as a family. So what's that going to look like? And oftentimes it looks like filling the spouse's cup because we haven't done that in a while.
Is it uncomfortable for them initially when you ask them directly, but what do you want? Like, tell me about that. Like, have you seen a couple tears shed or just some vulnerable moments of, you're asking me, like, after all these decades, after all this time? Like, tell me about some of those. You don't have to name call anyone, but some of those moments that you're able to witness.
Yeah, I'll answer the phone. I mean, we'll have phone calls and they sometimes just start crying and they go, I don't know why I'm crying. I'm like, it's fine. Take a minute,
Yeah.
There's always crying. Maybe maybe one every other
it's
10
to be
person.
expected.
Yeah. And that's fine. It's just sometimes that you're being vulnerable, just making the call. And then when I do ask that question, like, what do you want? And they say, I don't want to take up anyone's space. So I don't need to go on the retreat. I don't want to take up space. And I go, no, it's your space. Like, it's your time. It's your space. This is when you're supposed to be doing this. Like, don't worry about anybody else. I found myself saying that the other day at a retreat. I don't want to take up anyone's space. I'm like, why did I say that? I got asked to go. But yeah, it is hard. And I'd go, where are you? Like, in your wildest dreams, are you doing what you wanted to do? Or do you have something in the back of your brain that you've been thinking about? Or how do you feel? One lady used her scholarship to get heavy metal detoxed because she's been sick. She couldn't figure out why. Some use it for just good old therapy. Some use it for somatic work. Some use it for breath work or sound bath. Really weird modalities. But when you offer it to them, I will do whatever you want to do that makes sense that you've not been doing for yourself for the past 2 decades. Like, what is that? And it could be as simple as, I really want to learn how to sew. That sounds so menial, but that takes time. Or I want to get my master's because I'm 1 year away, or I want to open my own business. But it does. I do have to pull, if that's what you're asking, like, let's talk about you. And they go, well, my kids and my husband. I'm like, nope, let's talk about Jen. Even when we ask them questions, they'll do like a personality test at the retreat. And some go, well, my husband's an introvert. I'm an extrovert. And I'm like, I don't care what your husband is. We're talking about Jen. We're talking about Jen. So it's hard to get women to do that, like to go to point internal.
Yeah.
But eventually they get it. That's why the retreats are great. Because if there's 10 of us in one room and, everyone's polishing each other's crown, which I love.
Yeah.
So it's always a good vibe at this point. I think I've never had any retreat go bad where people stomped out. Like, we're just so ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think when you're ready for it, you're ready for it.
Absolutely. I mean, maybe initially it's like, oh, let me dip my feet in the water. It's a little too cold. But then you're like, no, it's okay. The water's warm. Come on in. And then you come out of it with, like what Alex experienced, like a complete reframe of her mindset. And from what I read of the testimonials, which are available on your site, which will be in the show notes in case anyone's wondering, to just hear the transformation that these women, most of them being women, go through with the Pillar Foundation.
Yeah.
So
it's not a bad job, not a bad gig.
Yeah. So I have to ask you now, I mean, I already asked how you're doing, but what does life look like for you, let's say, outside of the military spouse hat and outside of Pillar Foundation? Have you been able to discover a whole other side of you in post-military?
Yeah. Yeah. And it took work to, again, I keep saying the 4 kids, but that's a lot. And then they get older and they still need you. And my husband has a brain injury, which is very, very typical in the SEALs or in the special operations. So navigating that and like keeping him on task with easy things that he just can't remember. Like, don't forget to pick up little Johnny at 3, sending him a text. I'm trying to navigate that. And then also like take care of Teresa and give myself time to breathe and give myself time to I told you before we started, like my self-care physical routine has gotten a little out of control because I found a really good gym group. And so I'm there like 3 times a week. And then I walk the dog and I drink the protein, drink the creatine, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
All the stuff we have to do. And then I get in our sauna. I'm like, I take like half a day on Teresa. I'm like, this is a little out of control. But the things follow the wayside. I have to push and pull. When I turned 40, I have to tell you, is when I changed my thought. I was like, I'm going to say yes to more things. I'm going to read a book, not about self-help. I'm going to take the walk and not take the dog. or, I'm going to go watch the sunset because I know it's there tomorrow, but I'm watching it today. I'm taking the kids tonight to see the Northern Lights because we'll miss it. Who knows when that's coming back? So there was a lot of that after, because I was 40 when he retired, 41. It was almost like I wrote it down on paper and I declared it to the family. Like, I got to take care of me, you guys. If you want me to be around and be strong and play with grandkids, and like, you got to let me take care of myself. But I had to announce it.
Yeah.
Like, proclaim it.
Yeah, because otherwise they wouldn't know, right? They wouldn't know that that's what mom needs. And
yeah,
I love hearing you say that, because I think about, like, it's not really exactly your situation, but it reminds me of how I felt as like an older sister. And I had to grow up really quickly when we lost my dad, and how I was just always available to help people. Like, I was just a natural caretaker in my family. But in hindsight, I didn't know that I could ask for space or ask for help. So I just love that you communicated that to your family and to your kids. And most of all, that you knew that you needed that, and you knew you needed to make space for yourself. And now here you are with this enviable in-home sauna, taking care of yourself and putting you first. And that's just so inspiring to hear, Teresa.
Well, I had senior spouses, like more seasoned spouses. And when I was thinking in Pillar Foundation, I had said, what happened to your marriage if they divorced, or what do you wish, what did you need? And that was one of their answers. Like, I forgot about me. I was so involved in him, and everything's about him when they're in. They're going to war. You're not. They're getting injured. You're not. You're just a stay-at-home mom. You're just a military spouse. That was a whole mind shift. And the seasoned spouses told me that, like, you got to take care of yourself. But I hate saying this, but I don't know another way to say it, but put the oxygen mask on you first. It's that. So that might take years, training everyone around you. And you'd be like, my girls are now 21 and 19. And I'm like, I think 2 years ago, I said, you guys know what? I'm not just your mom, and I'm not just his wife. I'm a woman. And there's things that I need to do for myself to maintain, like, my own mental health. And they get it. But I don't expect, like, my 14-year-old to understand why mommy needs to go on a retreat, but whatever. She will.
Yeah. In time.
Yeah.
They'll reach an age and they'll become moms and are like, oh, I get it now.
I don't know.
Mom. You'll have your time. And they'll take care of you, and all the things. But I love hearing how you put yourself first now, in the pockets of time that you can, of course.
Yeah.
And because you're able to model that to the spouses that go through the Pillar Foundation. And I imagine in helping other spouses put themselves first, I imagine that's like an accountability factor for you too. It's like, I can't just tell them to put themselves first if I am not putting myself first. So it feels very life-giving, it sounds like. Yeah.
I had a call with my little therapist this morning. I'm going on a retreat on Monday, actually, for a week with no electronics and no phone. And she's like, I'm so proud of you for doing the work. And I said, well, I can't very well not do the work and then tell people to do the work. So yeah, accountability. And just like, I went through it. It's uncomfortable, and you can do it, and your family will survive. Just got to communicate that that's what's happening with mommy.
Yeah. Well, wow, Teresa, just thank you. I just feel a different energy from you. This sounds really corny to say, but from a couple of years ago to now, there's a part of me that feels like you're a little more relaxed, a little more at peace. I don't want to say boring. You're not boring at all, but like the boring life, like the calm, stable, predictable life that you're in. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. No, it's, because that was only 3 years after we had gotten out, and it's still such turmoil. Still such transition. So it's just different. I think it's just different mindset. It's slower pace. I don't know. I'm not okay with slower pace. I'm trying to be okay with slower pace.
Yeah.
Not that big of a deal anymore. Like, we don't watch the news. Just take it. It's nice to not be on the news for his career. Our really important
that
trips.
Sounds like a relief.
Oh, yeah. It's nice. And just visiting friends who live different places and going to all your friends' kids' weddings. It's just a different life, a different season.
Yeah.
4 years is a long time. It is.
Yeah.
Not though when your kids are little, it's a blink, but it's been a long 4 years, I guess, since we spoke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do appreciate your time. And the final question I have for you is, as you have new SOF spouses going through the Pillar Foundation, and maybe we can impart this to our listeners as well, what is the first thing you want them to know or understand? Like, what do you want to say to that person about to go to the Pillar Foundation, and anyone listening to this that's about to go through like military retirement?
It's going to be okay if you want it to be okay. It's a lot of work, and you have to do the work. It's not going to pan out. It's not all going to be all right. My husband used to say, you la-la your way through life. And I do la-la my way through life because I just have faith. But there is the work that if you put in the work, do put in the work. But also, don't take yourself so seriously. Like, just do what you have to do every day. It's not like a crisis anymore. It took me like years to transfer my fear that he's going to die in war, that he's going to die in a car accident, to, okay, he's not going to die every day. So I think you just have to like be aware of what's your feelings and communicate with your spouse and just make light of the situation, but also it is what it is. Like, you're going through it. You can't skip it. You can't skip it. You have to go through it to make it work. And the longer you skip it, the longer you're putting off the hard stuff. But I think just be aware that it sucks, but also it's great at the same time. That's such a contradictory thing.
Yeah.
And everyone's transition is going to be different because you could move home. You could stay in Norfolk. You could move to Canada. Like, that looks so different for everybody. Your kids could be flown and grown, or you could have littles. I think you just need to be very aware of like who you are every day and how you speak to your spouse and what your kids are seeing. And this time is make or break. So make it. Don't break it. Like, you did the hard stuff, and everyone thinks this part is the hardest, and it might feel like it, but it's so rewarding once you go through the tunnel and you're on the other side. The tunnel, not in Norfolk.
Not the tunnels here, yeah.
The tunnels here.
Especially in traffic hour. Yeah, not good.
It's a traffic hour for like 2 years. That's what it is. Like, it's congestion, it's a lot, you're frustrated, but it's going to be okay. So just like go through it, if that makes any sense.
That's a great analogy.
Norfolk tunnels.
Because it's a bit, we have a huge military town here. So if anyone's listening, they're like, I get that. Like that's it. That's all Teresa had to say is like, think of the tunnels. It's going to be okay. Yeah. The traffic is going to come to an end soon. It's going to happen.
And the beach will be there.
You're going to go on cruise control eventually. Yeah. Awesome. Well, Teresa, I appreciate your time. It's great to have checked in with you. And I hope this isn't the last because of what you have plans for to come
next year. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll have to check in with you on that. I guess that's it. I guess we're done. Unless there's any final thing you want to say. No, I think we're good to go.
The website's on the notes, pillarfoundation.com. There's 2 different versions, but it all leads you to the same website. Okay. Spread the word. Tell your rich uncle. Anyone who wants to make a donation is great.
Yes.
Also, we need, houses donated, experiences, anything like that towards a retreat. But if you want to make a year-end donation, that's fantastic. We're smaller. We're not one of the big mom and pops like, Wounded Warrior. The money goes further when you donate to the smaller nonprofit across the board. It means a lot more too. So think that when you guys are thinking about your year-end giving, we would welcome that. And thank you if that happens. And thanks for having me.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you for being here. And I just commend you for your journey. And congrats to you and your husband and your family for making it 8 years post-military. And it sounds like you're still going strong.
Yeah.
And thanks again.
Okay. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you're seeking a second opinion on the Survivor Benefit Plan, subscribe to our podcast now at InsideTheFort.com. That's InsideTheFort.com. Once you subscribe, you will receive a free download to the introduction of my book, The Military Spouse Benefit Plan. Why? Because you've spent years holding it down for your family, and we are dedicated to helping you own what's next. See you on the inside at InsideTheFort.com, or we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.